In moments like these, when the college football world slows just enough to take stock of itself, Marcus Freeman seems to exist at the center of several conversations at once. There is the immediate present, grounded in preparation, reflection, and leadership at Notre Dame. There is the near future, filled with expectations, recruiting battles, playoff ambitions, and the relentless pressure that comes with coaching one of the sport's most scrutinized programs. And then there is the noise, the persistent hum of speculation that follows success, ambition, and visibility, especially when the NFL comes calling or is merely rumored to be dialing the number. It is within that layered reality that Freeman has quietly, almost effortlessly, added another role to his already full professional life, stepping into the national spotlight as a guest analyst for ESPN's College Game Day on the sport's biggest night. When ESPN announced that Freeman would join College Game Day ahead of Monday night's national championship game between Indiana and Miami at Hard Rock Stadium, the news landed with a certain elegance. It felt less like a surprise and more like a natural progression, the kind of opportunity that finds coaches who command respect not just for what they say, but for how they see the game. Freeman is not being asked to fill airtime or deliver sound bites. He is being invited into a conversation that defines college football at its highest level, one shaped by nuance, experience, and perspective. In that sense, this new role is not a detour from his coaching path, but an extension of it. What makes Freeman's presence particularly compelling is the rare vantage point he brings into the broadcast. Few active head coaches can sit in that chair and speak with genuine authority about both teams playing for a national title. Freeman can. Notre Dame crossed paths with Indiana during the previous season's college football playoff, a game that required deep preparation, detailed scouting, and a first-hand understanding of Curt Cignetti's approach, structure, and philosophy. Earlier in the season, the Irish opened their campaign against Miami, a matchup that demanded its own brand of urgency, adaptation, and emotional readiness. Freeman did not study these teams from afar. He stood across from them, adjusted to them, and lived the chess match that unfolds between coaching staffs when everything is at stake. That experience matters, especially on a night when analysis often drifts into abstraction. Freeman can speak to how Indiana stresses defensive integrity, how Miami's speed changes angles and timing, how momentum shifts in real time when schemes collide with emotion. He understands the human element as well, the weight players carry into a championship environment, the thin line between confidence and overextension, the moments when leadership matters more than play calling. These are insights that cannot be manufactured in a studio or pulled from a stat sheet. They come from standing on the sideline, headset on, heart racing, knowing that every decision echoes. There is also a deeper layer to Freeman's presence on game day, one rooted in his own journey through the evolving college football playoff landscape. Notre Dame was part of the first national championship game in the 12-team CFP era, a milestone that reshaped how the sport measures access, opportunity, and legitimacy. Freeman understands what it means to navigate that expanded field, to balance ambition with endurance, to prepare a team not just to qualify, but to survive the gauntlet. That lived experience gives him a credibility that resonates beyond tactics. It allows him to speak to the broader questions that surround the playoff itself, questions about fairness, preparation, and what separates teams that arrive from teams that endure. All of this unfolds against the backdrop of ongoing NFL speculation, the kind that follows Freeman almost by default now. When Adam Schefter reported earlier in the week that Freeman is expected to remain at Notre Dame through the 2026 season, it served as a momentary exhale for a fan base accustomed to reading between the lines. Freeman himself has not wavered in his message. He has said plainly, repeatedly, that he is the head coach at Notre Dame, that his focus is on returning the Irish to the college football playoff, that external interest is a reflection of team success rather than personal distraction. In a profession where words are often parsed for hidden meaning, Freeman's clarity has been striking. That clarity matters because the timing of this broadcasting role could easily be misinterpreted. To some, a move into television might suggest a hedge, a softening of roots, a signal that a coach is exploring life beyond the sideline. In Freeman's case, it feels like the opposite. This is not a transition, but a moment of engagement, an opportunity to contribute to the sport's conversation while remaining firmly embedded in its daily grind. Freeman is not stepping away from coaching. He is stepping into a broader dialogue about the game he is actively shaping. There is something revealing, too, about how comfortably Freeman fits into spaces like College Game Day. He has always been a communicator, someone who balances intensity with introspection, who can articulate complex ideas without stripping them of emotion. That skill has served him well in recruiting living rooms, locker rooms, and press conferences. On television, it translates seamlessly. Viewers do not just hear what Freeman thinks, they sense how he processes, how he weighs responsibility against possibility, how he understands the game as both competition and community. For Notre Dame, Freeman's visibility on a stage like this carries its own significance. It reinforces the program's place at the center of college football, not just historically, but in the present tense. It reminds recruits, fans, and peers that Notre Dame's head coach is not on the margins of the sport, peering in, but at its core, shaping narratives, influencing perception, and contributing to the evolution of the game. In an era where relevance is constantly contested, that matters. At the same time, Freeman's participation in the broadcast is striking for what it does not change. When the lights go down and the national championship is decided, Freeman will return to South Bend with the same priorities he carried into Miami. He will continue evaluating his roster, refining his approach, and pushing Notre Dame towards the standard he believes is attainable. The NFL rumors will persist, because they always do when a coach combines youth, success, and composure, but so will Freeman's commitment to the work in front of him. In many ways, this moment captures the essence of who Marcus Freeman has become in college football. He is a coach grounded enough to reject distraction, ambitious enough to invite challenge, and confident enough to occupy multiple spaces without losing himself in any of them. He can sit on set with ESPN, breaking down a national championship, while keeping his mind on off-season development and future Saturdays in South Bend. He can acknowledge interest from the NFL without allowing it to define him. He can add a new job, a new role, without changing his identity. As the national championship unfolds in Miami, viewers will see Freeman not as a rumor or a hypothetical, but as a thoughtful presence, a voice shaped by experience and sharpened by responsibility. And when the broadcast ends, the narrative will shift back to the familiar rhythms of recruiting, preparation, and expectation. That is where Freeman lives most comfortably, not in speculation, but in purpose. For now, the front row seat he has earned is not an escape from his current path, but a reflection of it, a reminder that in college football, leadership extends beyond the sideline, and that the most compelling figures are often those who can stand in the spotlight without being consumed by it.